What is up, YouTube? We are back here today. I know, been very chaotic. It's right here near the holidays. We got a lot going on. But today I'm here to talk about all the NFL and college football stuff that happened over the weekend. If you're new around here, this is the Fumble Pod. I am your host, Dalton Lee. Let's just dive right on into it. We got a lot to talk about. So, going back to last Thursday, had the Rams traveling to Seattle to play the Seahawks. Seahawks were favored 1.5. I didn't really buy it. I took the Rams, and early on that looked good. Rams up at 1 point. I think they were up by 16. It was like 30-14. Physically just dominating the Seahawks. Sam Darnold kind of playing a little subpar, if you will. And then all of a sudden, big play by the Seattle defense. They score. Rashid Shaheed returns a punt. They're back to within striking distance. They get a stop, and immediately Sam Darnold just takes them down the field, and they score again to tie it. And then from there, it's like all hell breaks loose for the Rams. Going back and forth. They end up going to overtime. The Rams score. Seattle then scores. Goes for two. Gets it to win the game at home. Right now, they're in the number one seed. It was truly just a phenomenal game. If you didn't watch it, I hate it for you. It was a great game. But truly just two of the best teams in the NFC going at it, blow for blow. Phenomenal game. This felt like a playoff game. Truly felt like this could be our potential NFC Championship matchup. They're split one apiece. They're in my opinion on a collision course to probably play again in the NFC Championship. Stafford didn't really have a bad day. Puka had a phenomenal day. It was just that Rams defense in the fourth quarter and overtime just couldn't quite get a stop. And that's when Sam Darnold and the offense got hot. And it was just truly a phenomenal, fun game to watch. Watching just two great teams go at it. It was great. We did get the pick wrong. We picked the Rams. They end up losing. But for a great game like that, you can't beat it. And then Saturday night, we had Packers, Bears. Green Bay favored 1.5. I liked the Bears in it. And for a while, it was all Green Bay. And then Jordan Love goes out with an injury. Malik Willis comes in. And Malik Willis honestly plays phenomenal. They also had a two-score lead at this point. They were up 10 with about 3 minutes left. Bears kick the field goal, get an onside kick, get a touchdown to tie it to go to overtime. They get the stop in overtime. Bears then just throw up a beautifully designed play to DJ Moore for the game winner. It was a weekend of great comebacks. I mean, truly phenomenal, phenomenal game. I mean, the Bears didn't particularly play bad to start the game. It was just they were very slow and a couple miscues that really killed drives. Whereas the Packers, it felt like they were just kind of in a rhythm. They didn't even play really great to start the game either. They just outplayed the Bears from the get go. But then, and I don't even want to say it's Malik Willis' fault because he came in and played pretty damn good. It was just the fact that the Bears were able to gain just a bit of momentum at home and they were just able to roll. And again, like they kind of have all year. Sometimes you got to get lucky to win games. And the onside kick, you get lucky, you get it, you still go and score. So even though you get lucky on the first half, you still fulfill the bottom half. And then you get to overtime, you get to stop, you dial up a beautiful play call from Ben Johnson. I mean, who would think they've ran 13 personnel, one back, three tight ends, all game for the first 6 plays. For 6 plays, you go to that personnel group, and you're always running the ball. So when you come out in it again, yeah, anybody's going to assume it's a run play. You go hard play action to DJ Moore over the top for a 50-yard strike. Beautiful setup, beautiful play call in the best time to do it. Packers, I'd be concerned. You're starting to have injuries pile up. Obviously, Micah was out, didn't play in this game because he's out for the rest of the year. Jordan Love getting banged up, not finishing the game. That also hurts. I have a couple other people getting banged up throughout the game. Now is not the time to, you can't control injuries, but now is not the time to start to sputter. There's a world where, I mean, you're still in the playoffs, but there's a world where you're playing a low seed. You're going to be banged up. You're going to go travel to, who knows, potentially Chicago again. Maybe you got to go to Seattle. maybe the winner of the NFC South, or you got to go to Philly. It's not looking good for you right now after you had looked really damn good a week ago when you were playing the Broncos and you were up 10 plus points. So they got some issues they got to work on. But to the Bears' credit, the defense showed out when they needed to. The run game showed up when they needed to. And we said what we want. Caleb Williams has been balling out the last couple weeks. He's making the right reads, making right plays. He's almost like a controlled chaos. He's getting to run around and make these plays, but it's almost like it's within the system. Like they almost have it set up to where, yeah, if the play initially breaks down, it's almost like a second play when he rolls out, and it's just there, and he can make a lot of these throws. So you can't even fault them. It's almost like they know it's going to happen. They have a backup plan for it, and they're able to execute it. And they're not even fully healthy. I don't think Roman Dunze played in this game. They had DJ Moore. Luther Burden didn't really do a whole lot, but you still had Loveland. You had Komet. Really good offensive line that allowed Monungai and Swift to get going. The Bears are slowly starting to creep up into this position where it's like, do you really want to play them in the postseason? They're going to probably get at least a game, maybe two at home. If you go into that game sleeping, you're going to end up losing. That's the type of energy they're playing with, and I give them all the credit in the world. They're playing really good football right now. But that was a great game. We did get that one right. And then we get to the Sunday games, and the only one game I talked about was the one I was going to with some friends in Charlotte. Panthers hosting the Bucks, and Bucks were favored by 3 points. We picked the Bucks to win the game, and I'm glad to say I was wrong. It was a electric atmosphere. Place was sold out. It was a blackout game. They were giving out towels. The place was buzzing. There was still quite a bit of Bucks fans there, but majority was in Panther black, Panther blue, and it was phenomenal. It was a great atmosphere, and you could feel the energy in the building. And in a game that was very back and forth, Panthers would go up, Bucks would go up, Panthers would answer, then the Bucks would answer, and Panthers would answer. It was a great game. You get to the last 5 minutes of the game, it's tied 20 all. Bryce Young and the boys getting the ball, starting to move down the field. You get in field goal range, you kick it, you make it, but you left about 2.5 minutes on the clock. Baker and them, you get the false start to start their last drive. Then you allow Baker to scramble for 20 plus yards, and they're slowly creeping up the field goal range. And the place was just so loud. You get another false start, you get a holding penalty, back them up, and the unsung hero that I don't think a lot of people would look at and be like, huh, this made the difference. The Panthers' defensive line has steadily started creeping up. They're not getting all the sack numbers, but you can tell like they're starting to get pressure. They're starting to bother people in the pocket. And on the final play of the game where Baker throws an interception to fourth round pick Lathan Ransom, the pocket was collapsing on him, and he throws he's like in the air trying to throw to Mike Evans, who was stopped, but then starts going because Baker's moving. And yes, Lathan Ransom made the play to end the game, but that play was made because Derek Brown, Tershawn Wharton, and Nick Scorton, who had a phenomenal day, were collapsing that pocket and forcing Baker to have to make a decision whether to run, throw it, or possibly get sacked and take them further out of field goal range on second down. And I gotta say, this was probably almost not the most complete game by the Panthers, but it was close. It was close. It was a really good overall day for them. Panthers couldn't really run the ball a whole lot, but the passing game was actually there for the most part. You had guys open. Bryce was hitting them in stride. Not a whole lot of errant throws. They actually, I thought, did a good job spreading out the wealth in terms of not only different targets, but being able to push the ball downfield a little bit. Right before halftime, Panthers putting together a little drive trying to get some points before halftime, trying to tie it. And Bryce Young hits T-Mac on a little 30-yard outside fade route. One-on-one, T-Mac goes and makes a play. Beats the corner. Bryce puts it on the money. Boom, tied ball game. And you look over to which T Mac had a good day. T Mac was getting open, making plays, had a contested catch where he was falling, could have been DPI, defensive holding, and he still comes down with the ball. Jalen Coker, the last drive, has a nice little 40-yard fade route yet again, one-on-one, winning the matchup. Bryce puts it on the money. But I think my favorite play from Bryce Young was honestly one of the biggest plays of the game. It's third and goal, third quarter, pocket starting to collapse. Bryce makes a man miss. He makes a second man miss. He's got, it was third and goal from like the 7 or 8. He could easily scramble, possibly get a touchdown, get it to fourth and short. Maybe you go for it. He's got a defender in his face. He's got a wide open JT Sanders in the bag, and JT just goes. And Bryce just floats it over him. It was a phenomenal play. And Bryce knew as soon as he let that ball go, it was a touchdown. And you could just feel the stadium just building up. You could tell Bryce is starting to play with a little more confidence. And if you can give your quarterback confidence, that's when you find out how good they are and the places they'll take you. And honestly, I thought they put a decent bit of the load on Bryce's shoulders, and he delivered in a close potential playoff implications game. Panthers now have control of their destiny. If they beat the Bucks week 18, they're in the playoffs hosting a playoff game. If they beat Seattle this upcoming week and somehow the Dolphins beat the Bucks, they're going to the playoffs. So, again, credit to the Panthers for showing out big. Credit to the fans showing up, almost selling out the stadium. The place was rocking. That was one of the best football atmospheres I've been in a while. Not even just for Panthers, but just in general. It was a great feeling. You can tell the city of Charlotte loves Panthers football. And they showed it. The Bucks, though, kind of let this one get away. I mean, at one point it felt like they were in firm control. They get stopped on the goal line on a potential set to score a touchdown to go up almost 2 scores. They're forced to kick a field goal. Lets Panthers get right back in it. And you just tell something's off about them. Even though they had a good day running the ball, couldn't really get the receivers involved. Mecca Ibuka had, I think, maybe a catch. Mike Evans only had 2. Chris Godwin had only 2 or 3. I mean, it just truly was just a weird day from that Bucks team. So I don't know if it was truly the Panthers defense making that much of an impact, or if it was just, terrible communication and, miscues by the Bucks. At the end of the day, though, you're the team that was 5-1 at one point. You've now gone 1-6 since then. Or you were 6-2 and now you've gone like 1-6. You got a lot of questions starting to pile up in Tampa. And now you're starting to look at it like, is this going to go south in the offseason? Especially if you lose the division after having such a hot start and basically were in firm control of it. I don't know. That we'd have to wait and see. But it was a great game. Phenomenal atmosphere. I can't wait to go back at some point. And then we get to the 4 o'clock game. And you had the Steelers. Sinuses, man, they suck. You had the Steelers travel to Detroit to play the Lions. And I thought the Lions were going to run away with this one. They were 7-point favorites. That Lions defense is atrocious. Just bad. Especially in the run game. You let up 2 50-yard plus rushes by Jalen Warren for touchdowns. And Gainwell, with possibly the catch of the year, falling down, bounces off his arm. He comes back down with it. Nobody touches him. He walks in for another 50-yard touchdown pass. Steelers defense didn't play half bad. I mean, you got DK Metcalf punching fans. I mean, you just had a lot of insane things going on in this game. Yet the Lions still had a chance to win it with one potential drive. And it looks like they do it with a Amara St. Brown catch, which then he laterals to Jared Goff and he scores. But Flag on field, offensive pass interference, ball game. It was just a crazy game, but now Steelers are in position to win the division and go to the postseason, and they have a chance to, if they can keep up a recipe of having a good run game and let Aaron Rodgers just get comfortable in the pocket, maybe win a first round matchup. Maybe the AFC is not as tough as it usually is, so they got a chance to win a first round matchup for sure. But DK, what are we doing? Punching a fan on the sideline in the middle of the game? He got suspended for 2 games, which I think is right. There's no reason to hit a fan ever. Fan doesn't really do anything. Didn't hit you first. Nothing. You go up, start altercation starts, and then you just punch him. I don't know what we're doing. Something about Steelers and wide receivers just going ape shit. I don't know. Seems to be a common trend for them. Then we get to Sunday Night Football. Patriots travel to Baltimore. Baltimore was favored by 3. I didn't really trust it. I didn't really believe it. Took the Patriots. And for a while, it was a little back and forth. Ravens got a little bit going in the ground game to Derrick Henry. Drake May comes out, puts together a really good drive. And then Lamar gets hurt, but you're still up 2 scores with going into the fourth quarter. And you turn around and blow the lead. You blow the lead, basically ending your season. Drake May and them putting themselves in position to now be able to go get the 1 seed with the Broncos losing to the Jaguars. It was an insane week for comebacks, for sure. Drake May looked really poised, really confident in the second half. Run game was solid. The defense played great in the fourth quarter. You caught the Ravens on their heels in the fourth quarter, and the momentum just built up, and you just rolled through them. That's what a good team does. That's what a confident team does. And you have to give all the credit in the world to Mike Vrabel for building up this team and giving them that level of confidence in order to execute and do this. Especially after you just folded a week prior to your division rival, the Bills, at home after you were up 3 scores. I thought it was a really good bounce back game for them. Showed that they can see adversity and fight it back and win. But yeah, the Ravens, there's a lot you got to fix. And hopefully you get to an off season. What they need to be, I do not know at this point. That's just something we're going to have to wait and see. Then we get to Monday Night Football. 49ers traveling to Indianapolis, play the Colts. 49ers favored by 6. I thought the Colts would keep it competitive. In the first half, they did. Phillip Rivers able to go out there and still sling that rock, get a couple touchdowns. Brock Purdy and the boys able to answer back. At halftime, it was 21-14. Like, hey, it's going good. Then third and fourth quarter happens. San Francisco's able to impose their will. Phillips trying to keep them in it. And what basically ended it was Phillip Rivers throwing a pick 6. 49ers cribbing it. That ended the game. They end up losing by 17 points. It basically ending the Colts season, which it happens, but I mean, going from 8-1 to you're now 8-7 and just out of the postseason, criminally insane. And there's now still a world where if San Francisco wins out, they get number 1 seed, which all the credit in the world to Kyle Shanahan. Your team's been beat up all year. You got guys on defense that I don't even think true 49ers fans could name. Brock Purdy in and out of the lineup, and you're 11-4. And if you win out, you win the conference. You're going to be the number 1 seed. Amazing coaching class, master class. I mean, truly, between him and Robert Saleh, just utterly insane. Plus, it helps when you have Christian McCaffrey that can just carry the load. Now we're going to swap over to college football, which we had a pretty good week picking games. We only had one game that didn't go our way, but it happens. So on Friday, we had number 9 Alabama traveling to Oklahoma to play number 8 Oklahoma, and that game at first did not look like it was going to be good at all, and then it got really exciting. Oklahoma at home with momentum jumps out to a 17-0 lead. Alabama was able to score, and then where the game basically went downhill was 3rd and 3. John Mateer rolls left. He's got at least 3 yards in front of him, if not more, to get the first down. He tries to throw deep ball to an open receiver, underthrows him. So you're forced to punt. Your punter basically lays the football down on the ground, turns into a field goal for Bama. And then John Mateer, next series, trying to make a play, throws the ball literally to nobody but the defender. The defender catches it, walks right into the end zone. Tie ball game. Then Bama gets another stop, immediately scores, and next thing you know, you're like, it was just 17-0. That was 24-17, and Alabama has all the momentum. And they just ride that momentum out the rest of the game and win the game 34-24. It's like, Oklahoma, you were right there. What are you doing? I truly do believe the game changed on that 3rd and 3 because Mateer he didn't look necessarily great, but he was moving the offense, and if he doesn't force a pass deep to pick up 50 yards and just takes the free 10 in front of him and moves the chains, they probably go down and score again. They're up, at least 20-0, 24-0. You'd be able to coast out the rest of the way with all the momentum at home, but it was just a trickle down effect. Once that first domino went, it was just all downhill from there. Give credit to Alabama. Ty Simpson played really good. The defense showed up big in the second half. And what was truly just a great comeback performance and a great performance by Alabama. It's hard to ever count out Alabama. Then we get to Miami, Texas A&M. In a game in which I thought was going to be a little more high scoring. I thought Marcel Reed was going to play better than Carson Beck. And truly just a disgusting game. Miami wins 10-3. Neither offense really could get into a groove. Marcel Reed his accuracy was all over the place from the get-go. I mean, he's throwing screen passes to wide receivers and almost overthrowing them. But he was doing pretty good with moving the chains with his legs, and it almost feels like he just kind of went away from it. Granted, that Miami defense is phenomenal. But the same thing was happening in Miami on offense. They couldn't really move the ball a whole lot. That Texas A&M defense was playing phenomenal. It took till basically Miami's last drive of the game. They got in field goal range. They just kept trying to burn clock, kept getting first downs, and then they score with right there at 2 minutes left in the game. A&M gets all the way down to their goal line. 2nd and goal. And the story of the game, Marcel Reed, who's been very inaccurate for most of the day, throws an interception. Throws the ball high and late. Safety comes down with it. Ball game. You lose at home in a game that you were heavily favored, and you throw away a season that you were pretty much dominant in for the first 9 weeks of the season. I don't know if this was a offensive issue, just straight up poor coaching. I don't know, but they did not really look prepared on offense to play. Truly did not, and just a disappointing end to Texas A&M. Miami went out there and got a gritty, tough win, making the ACC look a little better. But it wasn't really a great game by either team outside of the defenses. Defenses played phenomenal. The offenses, it was just fact Miami was able to make just a couple more plays, and that truly was the difference in it. And then we're going to get to the last two. It's just Ole Miss rolls through Tulane, 41-10. Wasn't really competitive. Ole Miss was able to do whatever they wanted on offense. Defense played pretty good. I mean, it just kind of shows that Tulane probably shouldn't have been there. We'd already seen this matchup once. It was very downhill. This one, pretty much the same thing. And same thing kind of with Oregon, James Madison. I understand James Madison started to make it close. It was 51-34, but Oregon on 5 straight possessions ran 5 plays or less, got to down the length of the field, scored touchdowns on all of them. Just truly dominated on the ground game. Dante Moore didn't even have to do that much, and they just truly dominated. Yeah, you were able to get a turnover out of him, but there was really no shot in hell you were going to win this game. And I will say, I do give all the credit in the world to James Madison for still going out there and fighting, keeping it close, and they really did. I give them all the credit in the world. But again, James Madison still wasn't really ready to hang with the big dogs full time, especially in Eugene. And Oregon came out, ran the hell out of the ball, and were just explosive on offense. Now, Oregon still had a couple bad plays at times, a couple bad drives. If they do that against some of these other top teams, they will get bounced. This is probably the most vulnerable Oregon has looked all year. And I do think there's a world where it happens. But we're just going to have to wait and see. And guys, that is all I have for you today. If you're watching this, I'm filming this on Christmas Eve. So tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I probably won't get another video out till Friday. Spending time with the family and whatnot. So by the time you see that video on Friday, it's going to probably just be a recap of the games from Thursday, the Christmas games. Recap all those just because I think a lot of them are kind of irrelevant. At the beginning of the year, it looked like to be really good games, but now looking at the grand scheme of it, kind of pointless at this point. So we'll go over the games that happened. We'll go over the Sunday slate. College football's not back till the following week, so the following week we'll go back to our college stuff. So until then, if you're new here, subscribe, hit the notification button, let you know we're posting more content. If you've been around for a minute, like the video, share with a friend, leave a comment down below. I know bowl games are going on. There's a couple decent matchups going on between lower-ish tier teams. If your team won, let me know. But until next time, deuces.